Welcome to Dugout Discussions with the Coach. I'm Todd Miller. With me today is Jim Coates. Now, I've known Jim for, I don't know, long.
He's known me since probably he was about 4.
For a long time. He may have known me longer. I was more just there. So anyway, Jim, we're just we don't have any real topic to discuss. We're just here to chat a little bit and share some things as we go through and have some fun. And Jim and I are both from this wonderful little town in Ohio, northeast Ohio, called Youngstown, just south of Cleveland. So, you know, there's a different vibe between the two. Youngstown's more gangster, Cleveland's more serial killer. So anyway, Jim, welcome.
Hey, Todd, glad to be here with you today.
Man.
It's really exciting. This is something I never expected I'd see in my lifetime.
What, being on a podcast or me doing one?
Actually, being interviewed by with people with cameras, and it wasn't law enforcement was involved here. So this is always a positive thing.
Yeah, well, it's not over yet. So the law enforcement thing's still a possibility.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. First picture I've taken in a while didn't have lines behind me, huh?
Yeah.
So when we talked about this, I was like, man, we got to get us some Wayne's World wigs and do that. But it didn't work out because you wanted to be Wayne and I didn't want to be Garth. So,
and then I have to bring my guitar that I can't play anyhow. So it would have just worked out really perfect. So I guess we'll try that on the next go around.
We're gonna be doing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, we might actually do a duet. It might be something that everybody's looking forward to.
You know, if we get a Gremlin, we can go for a ride and do it in the car.
A Levi's Gremlin?
Yeah, no. You know, the car with the windows and
Yeah, but remember they had a Gremlin called the Levi Gremlin. Had Levi interior in it.
Really?
Yeah, it
like
was
denim.
Denim interior, had like some denim color blue. I knew some girl that had one that I worked with at a restaurant. And let me tell you, that was one tight back seat. I don't know what else to say other than that, but hey, I was a little smaller back then.
Yeah, well, that's a little car, man. Had that big window in the back where you could look up and see like everything. Man, God, those were ugly.
Hey, but I knew
Did you have flames on the side of it?
No, but I did know a guy that had a big block Chevy in one. Yeah. Let me tell you, that was pretty exciting to watch that thing go down the boulevard.
I bet, man, you put that big engine in that little Gremlin, torque the rear end right off.
Well, sometimes, you got to do things that are just out of the box. That happened a lot in Youngstown.
Oh, yeah.
Youngstown was an exciting place.
Yeah. It was a happening joint. Yeah. A lot of weird stuff going on there.
Yeah. You ever talk much about Youngstown on your shows?
No.
Really?
Not at all, hardly.
Well, let me tell you folks something about Youngstown. Well, first of all, Todd and me are from there, so, that's, history-making performance. But Youngstown in, I believe it was 1928, was the largest steel-producing city in the entire world. It was the top of the heap. It was the pinnacle of the Industrial Revolution in this country.
Wow.
So,
all those jobs have moved.
Yeah, most of those jobs have all moved. If I would have still lived there, I'd have been third generation, in the steel mills.
Steel mill, yeah.
But, they did me the favor and closed it all down and gave me an opportunity to go south, young man. Worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Youngstown, man, it's pretty dead now. There's not much there. It's shrunk a lot since then, hasn't it?
There's not a lot that's a lot to offer at this point. But
yeah.
They'll do okay. They'll survive. They all do.
Yeah.
It's not Detroit yet.
Yeah. It reminds me that the kids have this one song they play where it's about Cleveland, and it's all the bad stuff about Cleveland, the river catching fire and all the stuff, and And at the very end, it goes, but at least we're not Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland. Man, I almost got arrested once in Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Well, Dad, so when Dad died, right, he died in December. He wanted to be buried in Pennsylvania. And, of course, it's very inconvenient flying in December because there's like blizzards and things that happen. And there happened to be one the day we were flying. And we fly up and we end up we were supposed to go to St. Louis and then Cleveland. We ended up in Chicago and then Detroit. And then we drove down from Detroit down to Pennsylvania, took care of everything. But on the way back, we get to Cleveland and we're checking in at security. And, you know, this was back when you could like take knives on planes, you know. They didn't care. You just put it in a little thing and it went through security. You walked on, you got your knife, you went on the plane. And I had this Swiss Army knife, and it was the OJ model, and it was no problem. I got through. They gave it back to me. Done. But I had this other one that they had the blade open, and they're measuring the blade, and looking at it, doing all this stuff. And they go, "You can't take this on the plane." I said, "Why not?" I said, "I've been through Houston. I've been through Chicago. I've been through Detroit. No one had a problem. Why can't I take this on the plane?" They go, "Well, we're on a higher security clearance level." I said, "Why? It's Cleveland." So it turns out that was the wrong answer.
Yeah, you know, sometimes they take offense to the things. You know, it just doesn't matter who you tweak that day, you know?
So it was exciting.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place. Beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know, I could remember back in the days when I'd go to the Cleveland Indians game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is this like at Jacobs Field?
Oh, no. The Municipal Stadium.
Or before that, huh?
Yeah, the Mistake on the Lake.
At the Little League Park?
Man, my dad took me on bat day. You know, I was all excited. I'm a little leaguer. I get to go to bat day. I'm going to get my one bat. I'm all excited. I got my shirt on from Little League and got my hat, and I'm all excited. And I'm telling my dad, "Oh, man, I can't wait to get me a bat." You know, and he's like, "Yeah, that's cool, man." Well, nobody ever actually came to the Cleveland games, so they gave me 4 bats. Here, kid, take 4 bats.
It's like going to one of the Skeeters games over here. Hey, we got extra. Don't worry about it. Just take it. Just get it.
So, you know, I stocked up my Little League team. I had one size of everything, you know, a 28, a 29, a 30, and 31, you know. So I think they let us hit with back then, you know.
That's too funny. There's not a whole lot of people who go to them now. Actually, they're not bad now. Yeah. But they're still, I mean, Cleveland's not a big place.
You know, they got a big fan base.
You know?
Got a big fan base, you know.
It's hard to believe they got Major League Baseball, NFL, and professional basketball. And there's, 350,000 people?
Yeah, but Cleveland itself, metropolitan's pretty big.
Yeah.
You know, you add them up, I'm sure they got about 1.5 million
Getting
around
close.
there. Yeah. I still got kinfolk that live up there.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I'm enjoying making fun of it. Cause
yeah, well, you know, Clevelandites enjoy it. You know, you got something to be proud of. You got Baker Mayfield now. You know, the only guy that actually desecrated Ohio State Stadium, and then you hired him on your football team. Congrats to you guys.
Yeah, I got cousins up there and still in the Youngstown area, and I got some in Columbus. Most of them are in Pennsylvania. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's something else. So what brought you to Texas?
Well, I had an opportunity, you know, to work for a company that gave me, you know, a little bit of excitement, I thought, in my life. So went and did something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It went out and did some exploration for oil.
Oh.
And
like with a drilling or?
Well, kind of. Got to shoot dynamite.
Oh man.
Got to shoot dynamite, make earthquakes, read the seismic readings.
That is exciting.
Yeah. Met some interesting people in southern Mississippi and Alabama.
Yeah.
Louisiana, you know. Some in Texas. It was fun.
Yeah.
did that for a couple years. Did some stuff offshore. You know, kind of.
How'd you end up in Houston?
The company that I went to work for was based here in Houston. So you could actually work anywhere in the world with them in the exploration business.
Okay.
So took the job right out of school and said, hey, what the heck, go for it, man.
Now,
Yeah.
how'd you get a job here from Youngstown right out of school? Were they recruiting in Youngstown? What?
Well, they recruited at our school that I went to in Cuyahoga Falls.
Really?
And the semester that I graduated, they didn't actually come up that year. So I came down here with a buddy just to go visit some guys. And I went down to that company on Southwest Freeway and walked in, and they said, oh, yeah, we'll hire you. So Houston's been kind of a strange place to be employed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot since then.
Well, yeah.
When was that?
That was in 77.
Okay. I think we came down about that same time. 77, 78, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I was a lot littler. I was only like 4 or 5 or something like that. So,
All right.
yeah, they wouldn't give me a job. Not that my dad wasn't trying, but yeah. There was laws.
Rules.
You can't do that here. I'm like, what? Really? I thought this was America. Can't get a job in America? It's okay. My grandfather put me to work.
Yeah. No, it's it's a beautiful place. A lot of people, don't like a lot of things about Houston, but there's a lot of things you don't like about a lot of places.
Yeah.
Got to take your good and your bad, but I got to say that it's provided me some great opportunities and let me raise a family here, and have something to be proud of, I guess.
Yeah. So you have 2 kids.
Got 2 kids, 5 grandkids.
5 grandkids.
Still got the same old lady.
For how long? 30?
40 years.
40 years. Man.
I don't know how any one individual can put up with me for more than 15, 20 minutes, as you people will get to know that after watching this interview.
For 40 years, man, yeah. Oh, Vicky. Vicky's a saint, man. Well, she kind of is, right? She's been director at the East Fort Bend Human Needs Ministry. Did I get all of it?
You got all of it, yeah.
So they help a lot of people in the East Fort Bend area. And
east of the Brazos River in Fort Bend.
East of the Brazos River. Yeah. Help feed a lot of people, take care of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite an accomplishment she's had.
Yeah. Something else. We do the auction with you guys every year. Well, you invite me. You buy a table and then you invite me. So I have to buy something. You notice that
it's a minor requirement.
That lazy Susan out there in the bar that we got that.
I noticed you picked up a nice relic in there. That's pretty sweet. Kudos to your complimentary gifts.
Yeah, I was like standing over it. There was one other person there, and they were going around collecting them, and I walked in and added the last number to it.
Way to go.
Yeah. So, man, I'm just thinking 40 years, that's like, that reminds me when I got married, we did it at the JP down in Richmond.
Yeah.
Just went to the court and did the marriage there. Keep it simple. I'm a simple kind of guy. We go down there, we're getting married, and after we're done, the judge looks at me and he goes, "You look awful happy for someone who just got life without parole." But yeah, we got 26 years this year.
That's great. Yeah, you get to a point where you just say to each other, why would anybody else have us?
Yeah. I don't have to retrain anybody.
Exactly.
Or relearn anybody. Or be retrained for that matter. It's like, no, I finally got her to stop asking me if I'd like to do the dishes. No one likes to do the dishes. I'll do the dishes, but I'm not going to like it.
Well, I got banned from certain sports like that, like laundry.
Yeah.
I just put everything in there with red.
Yeah.
And then, so then I'm not allowed to do laundry anymore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of played out pretty well in my favor.
Yeah. Yeah, that was why, well, I'm not sure. Can we mention Bill Cosby? I'm not sure. But years ago, Bill Cosby said that dads are the smartest people in the house because only a dad could get away with not doing anything. Honey, can you get this? I can't find it. It's right here.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's an interesting life.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting life.
Been a good one, huh?
Yeah. A lot better for me than some people, you know. I was just thinking the other day, how many, since, you're a big sports fan, been following all this stuff for years, how many, like, big-time people that we knew here that were Astros that have had some substance abuse problems?
There's a few. There's one on the wall behind you.
Yeah, who we got back there?
Ken Caminiti.
Oh, poor Kenny. Yeah.
That one's even autographed.
That boy throw the ball across the field. What they clock him, like at 95?
I don't know, but it was fast.
He was the fastest thrower from third base ever or whatever. And yeah.
When the first baseman's glove pops, you know it had a little bit of
zip
on it. He was fun to watch, man. He was my favorite player. He was just so much. It was like, I got Clemente up there too, and he played a lot like him, where it was just it was all out all the time. Hurt didn't matter. I remember watching Caminiti hit the ball, and then he'd run full speed down to first base, like there was nothing wrong. And as soon as he hit the bag, he's hopping on one leg because he had like a muscle strain or a muscle pull in the other leg, and he'd kind of hobble back to first base, and next guy'd hit it, and he's running full speed around the base. And there's stories about Clemente doing the same thing, and they asked him one time after they did an interview. I actually wrote a research paper on Clemente, but they interviewed him after a game one time. He had an injured ankle, and he'd done that. He'd hit a triple, and then he scored on the next hit. And they said, "Well, you ran around the bases pretty good there. We thought you were injured." He goes, "Yeah, I had to get back to the dugout quick so I could rest."
Good for him. Yeah, a lot of that old school stuff, boy. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and then of course you were probably already in your mid-20s when we had all the steroid boys.
Yeah, mid-20s to close to 30. Yeah, where they were just huge. Like huge.
So how do these little scrawny guys hit the ball harder now than they ever did? Versus these guys that had to take roids to do it.
Probably a lot of technique, just learning from an early age. Because now, you do the baseball training, they'll start at a real early age, right? With pitchers and hitters and that's, it's hard to, unless they just found some that juice you up without making you big.
So, Todd, I know you're a really, really big baseball fan. And I
forgot the lights.
I gotta say, I've got this new passion now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks to cable TV. Cable TV is the greatest. Especially if you're willing to pay that extra couple of bucks every month for the other stuff. So now I'm watching cricket.
Oh my goodness!
Cricket is now my passion. I'm all about watching cricket matches now. I'm recording cricket matches. You know.
Well, you have to because they can last days.
Well, those are the old style. They
okay.
have this new format now.
Oh.
Did you know that they actually have a new format to cricket? I had no idea. I heard like these things could go for weeks.
Is this like where they limit mound visits now in baseball?
Yeah, they only have they get the game done in about 4 hours now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know any of the rules. You know, I know they hit the ball damn near every pitch. Well, it's called a bowl. They bowl the ball. And these guys are like crazy. I mean, they're so jacked up. This guy gets up there. He's got arms about this big. And he's hitting his cricket ball like 450 feet, you know. And I'm like, and this is every pitch, you know. I mean, the games go, even though they're only playing for eight overs. Overs, I think is what it's called. They're jacking up about 150 runs.
Man, it sounds like softball games around here.
Oh gosh, yes. It's just like it's just crazy. And every time they throw the ball, the guys are hitting the ball and they're getting a run. It's just insane. You know, there's none of this wait. Let's not load them up with a 3-2 count and wait until, you know.
Just throw it in there and hit it.
They're throwing it, and those guys are hitting the ball because they got to protect the wickets back there, you know. So they got to swing the bat every time. It's pretty exciting stuff. And we got a cricket place right up the street, you know.
Yeah, you gonna start playing too?
No, probably not. No.
Did you start watching this because Tony? Does he watch it? No, he's a badminton guy.
He's played badminton.
Yeah.
No. I just they started introducing it about a year ago.
Yeah.
And then
just got into it.
You know, I was flipping in between the soccer matches on the Saturday morning, and I said, "Oh, cricket. Well, let's check this out."
Yeah.
So you might want to get into this, Todd. You know, you may have to just
check it. What's it on, like ESPN 8, the Ocho?
No, Willow.
Willow? What the hell's Willow?
I don't know. It's some Indian channel.
Willow.
WILLOW.
Really? All right. Well, I'll have to check it out. I don't know if I have Willow, though. I don't know if I have that many. You know, I got that Windstream. You got that fancy stuff.
Well, you know, you can always come by, you know.
Yeah. Spend 4 hours watching them crank it.
I just sit and laugh. You know, it's like greatest entertainment ever.
Yeah, it's like an A-League in softball right there.
Yeah, it is. It is honestly just like that.
It's either a home run or a fly out at the fence. Yeah.
Yep. Good fun.
Man.
So, yeah. So what else we got going on these days?
Man, I'm doing a lot.
Yeah.
This and work and kids, and got one graduating next week. Next Friday, middle one graduates. So she's going to go to HBU this fall.
Nice.
So luckily she got a lot of scholarships. So I got one left, man. Yeah. It was kind of nice because my oldest, he took the girls to Austin this past weekend. So Angela and I were home, empty nesters for the weekend. It was nice. I kind of like the empty nesting. You know?
It has value when you can just sit back and you don't have to be bothered with much of anything, do you?
Yeah. You just relax and walk around the house naked. No one complains, usually. Well, maybe.
As long as you keep the blinds closed, I guess it's all right.
Yeah, that just keeps them from visiting.
And again, you know, with these neighbors, most of them don't look out front anyhow, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it keeps them from visiting you, know? It's like, no, don't go over there.
That's true. That's true.
So, but yeah, man, it's something. It's like they you go, where did it go, you know? And she did this, her English class, they could pick a different project had to do, and she decided to do a scrapbook from all her years in school, and she showed it to me, and I'm like, oh my God. It's like, man, they just went by fast. You know, you don't even think about it in the moment, but looking back, you're like, man. It was like when she went to prom a couple weeks ago, and she was all dressed up real nice, and I took a picture with her out front, and then a couple days later I posted it, and just looking at it a couple days later I started crying. I'm like, oh my God, man. What's going on?
Yeah. I know. It becomes reality, you know.
But then it changes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have 5 grandkids.
Then you have 5 grandkids, and you got no time to do crap because your better half says everything is more precedented now than ever. You know, at least when the kids were there, you know, like, I ain't doing nothing with them little kids today. You know, leave them alone. Yeah, well, now it's grandkids, so you got to go do things with them, you know.
Got to entertain them.
Got to entertain them.
Yeah.
You know.
But the good news is you get to hype them up and then send them home.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at that. Yeah. I take care of that pretty well.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Sweet revenge. Get to buy them all the noisy toys. Yeah. I remember that, getting all the noisy toys with the kids. It's like, hey, if you buy one more noisy toy. Man, it's like, come on. Are you just going to the store and looking for the noisiest piece of crap you can find?
Oh, gosh, you know, they got a toy out there. I'm not allowed to actually toy shop, in case anybody wants to know that, because the toys I pick out are completely inappropriate. Like the one, and I love to go to Target because they display this one toy there perfectly every time. It's the monkey where you pull his finger and he farts. And I look at that box and I just laugh. It just makes me laugh. I want to buy the thing just so I can set it on the countertop and laugh all the time. I'm never going to take it out of the box. But
just look at the box and laugh.
And she's like, "You're not buying that toy for the kids." I'm like, "But why? It's funny." No, it isn't funny. I'm like, okay.
But it's for me anyway. So what difference does it make?
Simple things like that just keep me pretty entertained.
Yeah. Toy shopping. That is one thing that I kind of miss, is the toy shopping. Because they got some cool toys now. Toys are way cooler now than even when my kids were little. And they had cool toys. But I mean, they got toys now that, you know, they're like full-fledged robots.
Oh yeah.
It's like when I was a kid, you know, it was like you programmed it and then it walked in a circle, and that was as close as you got to a robot right there.
Man, we didn't have nothing. You know, we had a couple of sticks.
With dirt and rocks.
Pretty much. I can remember, I was telling my neighbor this the other day. His little kid was out there playing with the Super Ball, you know. And the original Super Balls, they were about 3/4 the size of a baseball, as hard as a golf ball. And I can remember getting one of them things and winding up as hard as I could and throwing it down on the concrete to, you know, see how high I could throw that thing. Well, I didn't realize that the thing was going to come right back up and hit me on the forehead and knock me out. So I had to reevaluate doing that again because I can tell you I didn't enjoy that process.
This didn't work as I planned. What happened?
But it's such a simple toy. I don't know, Mom. I've knocked my eye out.
Yeah, man, things are a lot different now. You know, because like we didn't have safety. Safety was not a concern. Like bike helmets. Man, that was like Darwinism at work.
Oh yeah, I still don't have a bike helmet. Like, come on, I made it this far. What the heck,
man? Well, like, you know, where I grew up out in Pleak, right? We had the dirt roads for years on our main road, and they would come grade it every now and then, and you'd get that nice little pile of dirt on the edges, and I'd ride the bike in it, just to, power through it. And one time I'm doing that, and there was a big rock in it, and I hit that rock, and I just went over the handlebars, and I slid down slid down on my face. And I come home and I'm like crying, bleeding all over my face. And my mom's like, go wash it off. Didn't even get up from the couch. Just go wash it off. I'm like, I could be, what? That's it? I don't even get a sorry or let me help you or anything. And then she shows up with cotton ball and alcohol. I'm like, it's rough growing up with a mom who's a nurse. You need to get sympathy for.
It's even tougher with your mom.
Yeah. Oh, so
way back when, the rollers, kids get roller skates and roller blades and all that stuff now. They're so cool. You jump on them and they're smooth and got big wheels or whatever. Well, we had these things that were metal wheels, and you tied them onto your shoe, and these things were like total. I'm not even sure that they should have even been legal to sell. And you'd put these things on, and half the time they would fall off while you were trying to use them, because you couldn't get them on tight enough. And then
those are the kind of products that gave Ralph Nader a career.
Yeah, exactly. And then they come up with this fantastic idea. We're going to take these roller skates, because they got like millions of them they made, and they're going to bolt them on to the bottom of a board, and it's called a skateboard. So my brother got one, so I decided to go ride this thing, right? So, well, that's kind of cool. So I jump on this thing, I start going down the street, and I lived on a fairly decent sized hill, so a lot of gravity there. So I get down about 2 houses down, and I'm already got a pretty good clip. Not really knowing how to control this thing, by no means. Okay.
By the time I hit the bottom, I'm running about 45 miles an hour.
Oh, I wish that's all that would have happened. I hit like a pebble, like a little tiny rock, right? And that wheel hit that, like your shopping cart at the store, when somebody's cracked open some beans, and you just hit the wheel and it won't go anywhere. Well, that's what the skateboard did. The skateboard just stopped, and I went flying, and well, needless to say, I came home not cut up pretty bad. And are you going to need to go to ER? Nah, you're all right. Wash it off.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. So,
yeah, wash it off. You'll survive.
It's good to actually sit back and reminisce about some of this stuff, because things like I would tell my children things, and eventually over time they come to the point where they didn't believe anything I told them, that they knew it was an outright lie, or I fabricated something. So one day I was sitting at the dinner table, and I came in and I brought in a slide rule and put it down on the table.
Oh.
And I says, hey kids, you know what this is? And they said, no. What is it, Dad? I said, this is slide rule. I said, this is how we used to do mathematic calculations before calculators. And they called bullshit on me.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, what?
Man, really? My dad showed me how to use one time, and it was so complicated, I just was like, nah, I'm good.
I think I learned how to use one and made it through the class that you had to do it, and that was about as far as that ever went.
It was like moving the knee. He's got one that I still have in the box, because he was so proud of it, because it was bone. It's got a leather case, and it's like, if nerds had a Gucci, they would be. That's like what it was.
Yeah,
Oh man, this is. And then I still have his original HP calculator that was in the leather case, and it was like, and it could do like 4 functions. Yeah. Slide rules.
Hey,
we went to the moon with slide rules.
Yeah, well, they, when they had to get that Apollo rocket back, the guy got his slide ruler out and calculated it out and figured out how to sling them rascals back around.
Yeah, with a slide rule. Now we can't do it because we use Excel and it's all rounding errors.
Gates doesn't care.
It's rounded. Boom, crashed straight into the moon. What happened? It's just a rounding error. Don't worry about it. Gosh, it's crazy. But yeah, I remember one time I tried to fake an illness. Get out of going to school. Did the old hold the thermometer up to the light.
Yeah?
And
so you were about 140 degrees?
Yeah. I was never good at reading them, so I didn't know. But I wanted to make sure because with Mom, it couldn't be low grade because low grade just meant it doesn't matter. You're not going to die. So I'm like, and then she comes back and she looks at it and she goes, you might as well go to school. You're going to die soon anyway.
There you go.
Damn.
Mother knows best.
That didn't work. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of sympathy. Of course, we did a lot of stupid stuff, so sympathy wasn't short supply, It's like when we first moved down here and we moved out to Pleak, she planted a garden out in the back. And the issue was she was still planting on the Ohio schedule. So she had tomatoes out there.
In August?
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
So one day I'm inside and she comes in and she goes, why are you throwing my tomatoes against the shed? I'm like, I didn't do nothing. I'm not going out there. First of all, it's hot. It's way the hell out there back behind the shed. It's like, I didn't do it. She didn't believe me. And one day she's out there and one of them just exploded. From being so hot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was 1980. There was like a drought that year.
Oh yeah. That was the summer where 1980 is when I first bought my first home and we had over 100 degrees for like 40 days or some craziness. It was nuts.
And no rain. And it was. But yeah, they were exploding from the heat. Different world.
Different world. Hard to imagine where we live at today. That when I bought my home back in 1980 and I looked over the fence, it was nothing but pasture land and woods all the way to where we're sitting right now.
I'm telling you. Yeah, it was the same over down 59. It's all houses now, but we used to driving in from Rosenberg. It was nothing but woods.
Yeah.
All the way to Sharpstown Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Or Westwood Mall. Westwood was on the outskirts.
Yes, it was.
30 miles. Sharpstown, man, that was like, we're going into town now. Like, man. Yeah, so you moved out here. So we moved out here in this neighborhood about the same time.
That's true. Within a couple of months.
I remember I'm sitting and Angela and I, we'd been out here a few times looking at houses, and we really liked the neighborhood, but moving wasn't really a top priority or even really an option and stuff. And then you came in one day and said, hey, I'm buying a new house. I got a really good deal. You should check it out. And I was like, wait. You're buying a new house? Yeah. No. Yeah. So, did Vicky make you, or is this something? What's going on? Oh, it's a really good deal. I was like, man, if you're buying a new house, it must be a good deal. So, yeah, we got on here and
got on the gravy train,
found it and moved, and it's a good thing we did. We did it when we did, because I got laid off like a month later, and if I hadn't done it when we did,
would never happen.
Wouldn't have happened. So it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it's like paradise.
Oh, I like this neighborhood. go for walks. And we went to the one section over there, picked blueberries the other night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Up by the school?
Yeah.
They're out blooming there, huh?
The figs are blooming, and they got all kinds of good stuff at the farmers market. We're gonna have a vineyard soon, and we're gonna have a winery right up front.
It'd be a great place for me to retire.
Yeah, it's like you don't even have to move. You can just retire right here in spot.
I probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then have to buy me some place to go on the weekends.
Yeah.
Get the heck out of here,
Yeah. Beach.
I don't know. Hard to say.
Hill country.
I'm thinking Portugal.
Oh, okay.
Is
that really like a weekend retreat or?
It is if you have a jet.
And here you go. Weekend. Okay. And have Q fly you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he might be available. You never can tell.
Yeah.
He can get me on one of those, what they call them, Max 8387s or whatever they are that they grounded.
Oh yeah, the ones that keep crashing. Yeah.
There's got to be one or two of those around.
Yeah, you probably get a deal on them.
Yeah, it's like a valve. We could just jump around it. The little sensor problem. Get around that issue and we get that thing back in the air.
Yeah, just stay away from autopilot. The plane keeps crashing itself. Well, stop letting it fly. It's like, damn, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
But yeah, man, it's nice. Have you been out to the new dog park?
No, I don't. I have a dog, but my dog doesn't actually exercise like other dogs, so it doesn't need a lot of that kind of running around thing. She does a lot more like she watches cricket. I've got her hooked.
Sitting next to you.
She just sort of like taps her paw a lot. She's like, come on, hit me another one out here,
I'm going to chase this one. Nah. Maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, they got dog parks. Did they ever finish the bridge?
Which one?
The one that goes over by the dog park.
No. They're working on that still. That land bridge. Yeah,
that's not going as planned.
That was one of those where as soon as I saw what they were doing, I told Angela that's a bad idea.
What are they doing? Stacking a bunch of culverts?
Yeah, they put a bunch of culverts. They redirected the creek for a while and put a bunch of culverts in and concreted it and putting a land bridge across it. And of course, we had all that rain and it was over the top of it. And the good thing is they concreted it, because if they hadn't done that, it'd have washed all the...
Yeah, it'd have been a mess, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that one didn't make much sense to me. I didn't understand, just go over. Just go over. But I think it's because of the one side's 20 feet higher than the other, so they... I don't know.
Having to revisit this whole situation?
I don't know. Sometimes I watch it and I'm like, that's a bad idea. But they've been working on it for 4 months.
I'm not like a big, I'm not into the whole Facebook thing, I live vicariously through Facebook, through my wife who reads the stuff,
Oh, yeah. Everyone complaining?
About the complainers, and I just laugh, I'm like, I just wish the youth of America would actually learn how to do something,
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you this?
Some of the complaints on there are something else. Angela reads them too. I don't. Yeah. She's still on the Sienna one. She still reads this one.
She's in the Pineapple Passion?
Yeah, they're really entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, these people, they got way too much time on their hands, they gotta people gotta get off this social media thing, man. They just, I don't know. They just let it run their lives for the wrong reasons, you know. Oh, I just can't comprehend how they can just go down this rabbit hole with this whole thing, you know.
It's addictive to get on there and complain about stuff, and then get your complaints validated. You know, and it's like, it just makes you feel good about yourself, knowing that somebody else thinks your complaints are valid. Most of the time when she reads them, I suggest a comment back, and she's like, I can't say that. These are neighbors. I'm like, they don't know me. I don't care.
Exactly.
Maybe they'll leave me alone.
Yeah, that's why I don't get on it. You know, I've been informed that, you know, my wife actually has a reputation in the community.
Yeah.
And that for that to maintain and be upheld, I should probably not, you know, participate in said activities. So I cooperate. That's how I've been married 40 years, incidentally, in case anybody really wants to know the truth.
Yes, dear. There was a cartoon years ago, I think it was Tom and Jerry. And this guy's out camping with his wife, and they're like chasing each other around, and she's like, "There's a mouse in the kitchen." "Yes, dear." And every time she said something, he just goes, "Yes, dear." For the whole and I think he was dressed like you too. "Yes, dear." Yeah, nah, social media. I've gotten to where Instagram's about the only one I do anything on anymore. I mean, I'll post stuff to Facebook from Instagram, because the way it's structured is Instagram almost forces you to share stuff you like, whereas the other ones, it's so much easier to share stuff you hate. And man, people just, they attack, and it's just like,
it's ugly. I mean,
so
why
toxic. Why would you do that?
Okay, why do you want to put yourself out there and, you know, let somebody just bash you?
Yeah, or why you want to bash somebody else? Just relax. Worry about yourself. Live your own life.
Yeah. Well, you know, I really get a kick out of the fact that, you know, people, when they follow all these celebrities, and they think that that's how life is supposed to be, you know, and they idolize them, and it just blows me away that, why do you want to be like the Kardashians? These people are really, really messed up. Okay? Now, I've got my issues, okay? We all got issues, okay? But, you know, the only issues they got better than my issues is they got a lot of money, okay? And all you poor buggers out there, keep giving them more money. And I don't get that. You know, why would you want to feed this animal?
There's a lot of truth to that. And I don't, you know, it's weird.
So you'll laugh about this one, you know, because I'm not a real major political guy, you know.
Oh,
I mean, I just kind of roll with it, you know.
You're not like on Twitter. That's Twitter, by the way, in case you were wondering. That's where everyone goes.
That's where it is.
That's where the politics is at.
Okay.
Because no politician's ever had a thought that needed more than 280 characters to express.
Well, that is something I will not argue that statement at all, because most of them, it's like, yeah. But anyhow, I was asked by somebody the other day, who did I look up to as a positive, you know, image to, you know, that I would like to be more like. And I was like, you know, I'd like to be more like Donald Trump. I said, you know, I could say whatever the hell I wanted to, which most of us wish we could, you know.
That's true.
And, you know, and just, and challenge people. And love Donald Trump or hate him. Flip a coin. But I'll tell you what, he challenges people. And if you don't think he's challenging people, you're fooling yourself. He's got them all on a tightrope, and he's playing every one of those people in D.C.
Yeah, he's something else. Even when he came out in the 80s, I never liked him. I've never, even when he was popular, I never liked him. It's like everyone was telling me, you need to go on The Apprentice. You should go on The Apprentice. I'm like, first of all, I'd be on there and he'd start talking. I'd be like, you're fired, because I'm done with this guy already. But it's like, now watching him, it's entertaining at this point, because it's half the time it's like he's just twisting. He doesn't even care what he's saying or what.
No, he don't give a damn.
It's just like, yeah. Now what do you think? And it's like, you're right though. I think a lot of people wish they could just say, and that's kind of the draw of social media. Is a lot of people get on there and they just say whatever they want, and because it's their 30 friends and their cousins, there's no real repercussions of it other than, okay, Sammy, settle down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I do like the entertainment level in DC though.
Oh yeah.
Because, the man's got this revolving door. He opens up the door and he say, "Come on in." Well, Todd, what do you think about our trade deficit? And I go, well, Todd, more tariffs. I gave you 30 seconds.
Tariffs.
You did not have an answer. You weren't prepared, so you're fired. And he brings in another one, I mean, these people all have jobs that they're getting a paycheck that we're giving them. They don't have a clue what they're doing there.
I'll tell you what's entertaining.
And he calls them out, and they don't have an answer, so he whacks them. And then everybody's like, well, you shouldn't be firing all these people. Well, yeah, you should. We should have been firing a lot of them a long time ago.
What's entertaining, too, is like all the new presidential candidates, man, because it's like watching a student council election, It's like, I promise you free food in the vending machines in the cafeteria. Like, I promise you free tickets to every football game. I promise. It's like, what in the hell is going on? It's like, no one's had a real thought in so long that it's like,
I love.
Who cares?
I love this whole. We're going to educate America. We're going to give everybody free college. I think education is obviously the foundation that we will grow as a society, or be demised in some cases. But what I want to know is, I'm all for it, okay? But I would like to be able to get the government to write me a check for when I went to school that I paid for, and when my kids went to school that I paid for, that they're going to reimburse me all that money. Because,
man, there's so many things there, dude. Like, first of all, I agree with that completely, because I've still got student loans. But, man, I'm like, not everybody needs college.
Not everybody needs college. That's correct.
I think we've
colleged out.
I think we've like overused it. I think we need more trade schools. Teach people how to do something. You talked about it earlier. People learning how to do something. It's like, why does everybody need to go to college anyway? And part of it's because corporations started treating college like their training facility. They no longer trained people, and they expected you to come out of college being able to do an engineering job, and the engineering job is not related at all to anything you studied in engineering school. And it's like, but it's just the job that I did, when I first started there, and you and I were at that same company, and you need a college degree to do that.
No, you don't need a college degree to do most jobs, period.
Yeah. All you needed was someone to sit down with you, train you, give you some information, read the manuals, and play with it a little bit. And, a few months later, you could do it. But it's like, man, college. I think college is a lot of our problem right now. Is everybody thinks they're a damn genius because they got a degree. They think they know shit, and their degrees are worthless anyway.
Right. Well, yeah, because I was at commencement a few years back, and they walked these about a dozen or so young people, bright-eyed, with a general studies degree. I'm like, a general studies degree? What does that mean? It means you
went to 4 more years of high school.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything you can do? Do you have no major?
Yeah.
But my son, as you know, teaches, and when he teaches he'll tell freshmen, not everybody needs to be here in college.
Yeah.
Says, this is a starting point for you. Use it and figure it out if this is really where you want to be. And it might not be for you right now.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Go find something, do something for a little bit, and try again another time.
Yeah, I didn't go right out of school.
And that's where, a little bit of experience, maturity goes a long way. I think, I think we would be, they're talking about free education, okay? And I get this. Free education's a good thing. The little part that they're not telling you about is, you're still going to have to buy your books. You're still going to have to pay your room and board, and you're still going to have to go buy food. But your classes are free.
Which is about 90% of the bill anyway.
Right. So, I mean, they're making it sound like they're doing something wonderful for you, and they're not. They're just taking away maybe 15% of your bill that you're going to wrap up with. And, all you're going to do is you're going to flood universities to the point where they'll be completely saturated, and they won't be able to take the amount of students that are going to go. Because if it's free, how could you actually be, how could you turn them down?
Yeah. I mean, why would you?
What's the acceptance criteria? If everybody can go to university, that means everybody go to university, right?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you say no now? Because it's something that the government's going to give you as a citizen, so everyone goes.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're they're trying to get this vote that's under 21 years old, where these kids are 18 and they can vote and have absolutely no idea what they're voting for, but all they hear is, hey, I'm going to get free college. So why wouldn't you vote for me?
And free candy bars in the cafeteria vending machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's messed up. But man, the school thing is, I did that master's in theology, and I went because I wanted to learn more about it, not because I was looking to change jobs or anything, or I wanted to learn more about it. So that was why I went. I wasn't going because I was expecting to come out with some huge job opportunity or anything like that.
You were now going to advance to the next level of theologian scholars there at Princeton.
I just wanted to study it a little more, and it's and do it in an academic environment, where it's just kind of, we're here to study it, and that's it. And that's really what college is. I mean, when universities started, when they first started many 1,000 years ago, you studied theology, math, science. That was it. right? And now you got crazy ass degrees and stupid stuff that is you're never gonna you're gonna work at Starbucks.
Oh,
And,
absolutely. Yeah, there's no future for these.
And it's a total waste of money.
Yeah.
Total waste of money. You could learn all that stuff by just doing it or studying it yourself or reading the books. Yeah, I had a couple weeks ago, I had Kevin on here, and he started his own engineering business, and he builds stuff. He went out and got a CNC machine and lathes, and he actually builds stuff. And when he was talking about learning how to operate his CNC machine, he learned by watching YouTube videos. And it's like, I had to change the wiper blade on the back of my car, on the back window last week. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get it off. So I watched a YouTube video. It's like everything's on YouTube now. It's like MIT has their classes online. Now you can't get a degree unless you write them a check, but you take essentially the same classes as anybody at the school. Well, at this point, you got to look at it and go, why do I need that piece of paper? If the knowledge is what matters, what's the piece of paper got to do with it?
It's just that the only thing the piece of paper does is it gives corporations a legal ground, is all it is. It
to not hire you.
Right.
Yeah. Because they can put it as a requirement.
It's legal segregation.
I actually had that happen when I was unemployed, and I was looking for work, and I applied for a job. I got all the way to the end, and I was just waiting for the offer, and nothing for like a week. And I was just like, oh, what's going on? And they said, oh, we changed the job requirements. They made an engineering degree required, which I don't have. Right, I have a business degree. They made an engineering degree required, so suddenly I'm no longer qualified to do a job I've been doing for almost 30 years.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And that's why American businesses struggle today.
Yeah.
Because of that, doing that.
Yeah. Requiring a piece of paper for a job that they don't. They're going to have to train you whether you have that piece of paper or not for most jobs. And that was the things that they kind of, like I said earlier, they wanted the university to teach you everything you know. So all I had to do was bring you in and you go straight to work.
Right. Well, years ago, I was up here at the local high school giving a talk to the kids that were seniors, juniors and seniors, and I told them, I said, let me offer you guys a little advice. I said, you're seniors, you're gonna go off to college, and you're gonna want to room up with your buddy that you've known for all these years. I said, just take my word for this. Don't room with your buddy. Go meet a new friend. Go meet somebody from a different culture or a whole different realm than you've ever been around, and learn to see people in a different aspect. And I said, and the only other thing I'm going to tell you is, it's like March at the time, I said, you got plenty of time between now and the time you pack your bags and go to school. I said, go get you a couple pots out there out back and grow you a couple of tomatoes, and make sure you water them and you nurture them and you take the time to go and look after something other than just yourself going out and goofing off. Develop some responsibility. And I said, learn how to take care of yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have something to eat. You may need to learn that craft sometime in your life. So, use that as a tool. And just let it go at that. While the teacher that was in charge there said later that when they got the ratings back from people that, they always rate the people, they rated me like better than they had like PhDs that came in and gave them talks. And the reason why is because I talked to them at a level that they can grasp, and at a level that their parents don't talk to them about, I think most of the kids today, their parents don't spend time developing their kids to understand the world and the right things they need to be doing, setting a path forward for them for the long term. And I don't know. That's I raised two kids, and I've seen it all through clubs, organizations, and things like that, and seen such a disservice done to so many young people.
Yeah, it's like they try to protect them from reality.
Well, that is part of it, but a majority of it is they just want to completely control them.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work either, because they get a lot of rebellion, a lot of issues with it. They don't let them learn to have the right freedoms and make decisions.
And learn to take care of themselves.
And take care of themselves a little bit, because,
Make mistakes.
Make mistakes.
And that's one, like, because, oh my God, if you fail, if you have a bad grade, if you might not get into the right college. What? That's the mentality.
Yeah.
And so they don't want them to take care of themselves or make mistakes, and they'll do their homework for them, and they'll do their stuff for them, and next thing you know, they can't do anything.
Well, I'll tell you, I think this whole thing with these celebrities that have bought their kids into colleges, I think this is just, not that this has not been going on anytime soon, Yeah. It's always been the privileged that have always gotten,
into the right schools.
Gotten into the right schools. I just hope that it's one person does it, and it becomes a snowball, and it makes those universities pay dearly for their mistakes. Yes. Because, if you want to go to Harvard, what's an application fee to go to Harvard? Like $500
I don't know.
Or something. It's some crazy number.
I never bothered. I wasn't going to spend that much for college.
But the reality is they only take one in like 3,000 applicants or something like that. Well, heck, at like $500 a piece, that's a lot of money for your admissions department to pay their salaries, right? To just turn people away, right?
Yeah.
So they've been collecting all this money.
When you never had a chance anyway.
When you never had a chance to get in. And then if you have graduated from that school, you got a privileged job, right? So you got a business degree, and you can get a job in New York City making $300,000 a year because you went to Harvard. Okay? Well, the guy in the cubicle next to you, he's only making $50,000 a year because he went to Rochester, right? He's probably smarter than the other guy anyhow.
Yeah.
So those guys, and that guy who ended up at Rochester got turned down to go to Harvard. He needs to sue Harvard University for his lost wages.
Yeah.
Because they can't prove that, that they did not snub him for the wrong reasons. And I think he'll win. In front of a jury, I think a jury will award him. And you start adding up all those people, and now
all the places that did it.
There'll be a major correction.
Yeah. Well, and there needs to be. There needs to be a major correction in a lot of ways. And maybe part of that is some of these places need to get shut down. But some of them are sacred cows. And we like to keep those protected. But it's like that there's a book, I think Marcus Buckingham was one of the authors, but it's called Sacred Cows Make the Best Hamburgers.
They've been fed nicely and massaged.
That's right. So,
hand select.
It's, there needs to be some adjustment, and the same, we saw the same thing happen 10 years ago in the real estate industry. There was adjustment in certain markets that had become overvalued, for no real reason other than they were just overvalued. And it wasn't a case where they lost value. It was a case where there was an adjustment in the value. It became realistic just because reality eventually catches up.
Yeah. Well, that's starting to happen really right now with the new tax laws.
Yeah.
You know, people that have these expensive properties have been writing off all this stuff for years, no longer going to be able to do it. So they're going to have to figure out how they can make ends meet.
Yep. And they've limited how much it is, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, well, anyway, I've enjoyed having you, man. I hope everyone else laughs as much as I have, because sometimes it's just fun to have fun.
It is. Yeah. We didn't really talk about anything of any great importance here. But
no, but
I'd like to end this, with a quote from my mother, because my mother is a very quiet woman and never said a lot, very humble. And in her later 70s, before she passed, I sat her down and I said, "Mom, could you tell me if there's anything really, truly that's important in this world?" She thought about it for a minute. She goes, "Yeah, not really." So I think she meant it in a little different fashion than that. But find the things that are important to you. Do the right things for your fellow man.
Yeah.
Take the advantages that you've had through your working career, and help others, and if when you can, give as much as you can for your philanthropy.
Yeah.
And that when you help your fellow man, it's a better world that we live in.
Yeah.
So thanks to you, Todd, for having me here today.
Yeah.
Thank you, America, because I tell you,
hey, this is international.
You know what? You people out there that ain't from America wish you were in America. I can assure you that, because there's not a night that I don't ever go to sleep that I worry that my safety and health and concern is not taken care of. And to that, good night.
Well, thanks again for joining us, and I hope you enjoy it. And I do like the way you ended it, talking about doing something to help other people. And that's what I'm trying to do with some of this, is just show other people that what other folks are going through and what their thoughts are, and realize you're not alone, and you're more like a lot more people than you are the Kardashians. So anyway, God bless you.
Thank you. Good night.